take one, I guess. Or I guess a more catchy, cute name would be the pilot episode. Let's see if this thing sinks or swims. So this is, I guess, what I'm going to call for now as raw reflections. And not that I intend for anyone to ever lay eyes on these videos, but in case anyone ever does, other than my very nosy husband, because he's all up in my business, let's knock out some of the who, what, when, where, and whys, all that kind of info. So, the who. I'm Keaton Wyndham. I am a counselor in Northeast Texas in public schools. I work across 9 districts as a special education counselor for students in special education, but more typically those that have autism or emotional disabilities or ADHD. That's mainly what I see. But the kids can be anywhere from pre-K to 12th grade, and it is so fun. I also am a licensed chemical dependency counselor, and I am an internship away from knocking out all of my classes for my licensed professional counselor, which is basically like being a counselor in the clinical setting. So fingers crossed on that, because that's a wild ride in and of itself. So like, what the heck am I trying to do? Like, what is this purpose of this channel, I guess? And the purpose is kind of like what the name implies. It's just kind of my raw reflections each week on these classes and this that I'm taking, this program that I'm in, because it is so very interesting. I don't typically feel like I have a lot to share. I don't feel like I have any truly unique thoughts. I kind of feel like at this point in the internet that like every thought has been said by someone somewhere. So like, why add one more voice saying the same thing into this echo chamber of the World Wide Web? But I think the experience that I just started going through is unique enough that it might be worth sharing it, at least creating the videos as I go along in case I change my mind later and I want people to see. Like I said, I am personally located in Texas, but the school I am attending is up north. I don't know yet if I like want to give the nitty-gritty details of like what state, what city, but I live in a very conservative Christian community, and I am a conservative Christian. The program I am in is a master's in sexual health with an emphasis in sex therapy. And the school that I'm attending is up north, like in one of the most liberal states, I feel like. And already it has been so interesting, and I'm not even a week into it. And when am I doing this? I'm gonna try to do it once a week, just to like give an update. I think more than once a week is a bit overkill, especially since I'm not doing this other than to like record my thoughts. I'm not trying to gain followers or anything like that. But I think as much as I've experienced in a week, I feel like waiting more than a week I would forget and miss so much. And ultimately, the biggest question of all is why? Why am I doing this? Um, it is a totally different world and like such a different culture being being like exposed by jumping in the deep end of this like super liberal woke world is something that I feel like not a lot of conservative Christians are exposed to and like have to participate in to the level that I'm going to be asked to. Um, and nobody really knows that like I'm just this quiet little conservative Christian. I'm just taking it all in. And so I feel like I'm getting some of the most raw and like unguarded thoughts that I wouldn't otherwise have access to, and it's interesting to see what people are saying when they think they're in a community of like-minded peers. Not that I'm out to get anyone. Like I don't intend to be overly critical or play a gotcha game. Like I truly just want to sit here and reflect and kind of process everything that's been thrown at me that week in class. And so I think this is a good way to hold me accountable. And I think it'll be a good way to see if, my thoughts and my feelings on certain things like change over time. Most people don't like actively see or feel their thoughts and opinions changing on things, but when if you have the ability to go look back, it can be so wildly different. It's like watching your kids grow up. Like you don't see how rapidly they're changing, but then when you go back and look at a picture from 2 years ago, you're like, oh, where is that baby and who is this giant kid that I've got in my house? I still viewed them as a baby. Um, so that that is kind of just the nitty gritty, the basic information. Um, I plan to do like a quick little video here soon about the orientations and the trainings that I had to go through before class started. And then my first week of class, which officially ends in like 2 or 3 days. But already I have learned some really cool stuff. But I have also experienced some stuff that really took me out of my comfort zone or stuff that I just didn't want to be involved with already. And I'm taking myself along for this ride and holding myself accountable for these videos, and any strangers that stumble onto my channel, y'all can come for a ride. Okay, see you next time.